The first one, I'm going to be using one color for the whole thing, and I'm going to layer it. I'm going to use the Pro Marker Dusky Pink for it. I'm going to just move this so you could see it. Okay. Let me just, maybe I'll zoom in a little bit, just enough for you to see. Okay. So I'm going to start from the head, and I'm going to just be doing layers. Let me change to the other side, because I feel like I like to have sometimes a broader marker side. And see, I'm going to start layering, so you'll see lighter here, and you'll see that I'm going to just go ahead and layer this and more here. Another thing that we have to take into consideration when we do this, where is the light source coming? I like, you know, I like to use the light source. I always do this side, that is going to be a little bit lighter than this one is going to be darker. Always pick which side you want to work with this. So let me just start. I'm going to put a few layers, then going to just go here, and then put a little bit more. Also, I like to leave a highlight. I think the skin looks good with a highlight. I'm going to start working, and you see that I move the side of the chisel pen depending on what I'm doing, and make it thinner or thicker. And I'm going to start layering this more into one side than the other, so you'll see the difference. You'll see that I'm going to just continue. And one thing that you're going to notice, the pack paper is going to just basically have some of the markings. You're going to use that over and over again, so that's fine, because we'll use it more than once. So I'm going to just let it dry and then continue putting darker here. Then we are going to go into the fingers. See, I'm giving it a little bit more over here, maybe a little bit darker in here. And then I'm going to change the sides. And always click your markers, guys, so they don't dry up. And I'm going like the shape of her body. Oops, I messed up in there. I'm going to show you how to clean that up. So I'm going to just, see, I'm going to go with the smaller side and go over several times. And leave a little bit of highlight. Like I said, I like that white highlight. So we are going to continue here into one side. I let it dry for a few, and then continue here. Then I'm going to just continue with this leg. And one time just on the other side. I don't do more than one time on the other side, because that's the lighter side. So then I'm going to just do on the edge, so it looks almost like it's kind of blending. So see, I'm going to go over a little bit more, mark kind of the knee here with a shadow or a shading of the same color. Then I'll do the foot, and in this instance we are not going to do shoes here. So I'm just going to just continue working on the side that is darker by continue layering it. Let me go here. Going to go a little bit here. And then I'm going to go to the other leg. Then I'm changing. If you see that I change the chisel part to thicker or thin, I keep rotating it. And I don't go very slow, guys, either. You have to learn to do fast. So it looks like there is the knee, a little bit here. And I'll do a little bit more. Okay, and you see that I like to leave that highlight. That highlight makes it nicer. And I'm going to just this whole body here. A bit darker here. Then I'll do the other side. And you see that I always hold my paper because, you know, now that we pulled it out of the rim, it moves. So I'm just making sure that we can notice those knees. Make it darker there. A few more here. A few more just to make it a little bit darker. Like I said, more into one side than the other. Could even have a little bit here to show. Now I like to start shading a slightly more. Just shade here. But look, I am not shading it completely. I just little by little, and then I'm going to start giving it some of the muscles where the muscles should be. And I'm going to just try to blend some of this here. Let it dry, because if you continue over and over, what happens is going to just start puckering. Then I'm going to go on the top, slightly right here. And then to the other arm. I'm going to go to the other arm here. Other side, the one that is going to be lighter. And I want to give it a little bit more here. So we start looking at it. Let me just go from the other side and start also movement here. I'm going to just make it a little bit darker with layering of the same color. See, and then here just slightly just going to just mark that bust. Under the bust, remember the bust is going to cause or create a shadow. It's going to just make it, even if it is slightly, we have the shadow there. Oops, be careful, because I went too many times and didn't let it dry. There is a little bit of the a pigment liner that came off. So let's go here, a little bit darker there, and I am continuing layering on some sides. Here under the head, because this head will create also that or cast a shadow. Then a little bit here. I always do just for you to see kind of face, but it doesn't have to. I just add see, let it dry in between. That's so important to let it dry. going to just continue making this like darker in here, darker on this side, creating that shadow. So you'll have kind of there, you'll see the movement, you'll see the shading. And I'm going to go one more time. Let me just go here. But you always have to let it dry, guys. If you don't let it dry in between for a few seconds, it's going to just pucker, not going to look as nice. And layering is the key. See, and that's starting looking good. Here, a little bit more there, and a little bit more of them bend. And here, because that muscle starts moving. Here on the center, you want to just create that. Okay, let's see, going to the other side of the marker a little bit thinner to just create that shadow. Okay. Now, we finished with the one marker, and this is just by layering. Remember I said if you go off a little bit, don't worry. Like in here, I'm going to show you after it's completely dry. One more time. If you went off, like here, this is what you'll do. You'll go lightly with the gel pen. Basically, my gel pen is almost on the air. I'm just letting the ink touch the paper, not even the pen. And that's going to just help you kind of erasing that marker marking. Please don't push it down. Don't go inside the body. You don't use this inside the body.